I'm Jesse Ebner.
And I'm Brie Aljets.
And today we're just going to introduce ourselves because you don't know us. And this should be pretty entertaining. Our podcast is called We Hold the Keys.
What do we hold the keys to?
We hold the keys to life. Wine, vodka, houses, and all the things.
Everything.
Yes.
In between.
So in 2012, I was living, we had our house on White Rock, and our neighbor died, and the house foreclosed, and we didn't know who our neighbor was going to be, and so we were just very nervous because we were so close to, there was like no fence, and it was uncomfortable, and we had little kids, only one little kid.
That's right.
There was only one. Anyway, in
I had
walks
0 kids.
Brie and Cody.
Yeah. Summer of 2012.
2012.
We had been married about a year, knew we wanted to move to Colorado, got a call from a longtime friend and said, hey, I just bought this house that was in foreclosure, come hang out. So we're hanging out at the house and we go out in this yard, same thing, no fence. And I look over the fence and here is this, I assume husband and wife, and it's
Little blonde
lo and
kid
behold,
running around.
Jesse.
I was so excited.
Hey.
I think I was like, oh my God, hi, you look normal. Can we be friends? And I think we invited you over for drinks.
You did.
Yeah.
And then that turned into asking what I did.
Yeah, so
and at
then-
the time I was a first grade teacher and was miserable.
Right.
And I said, but I have more experience in real estate.
And I was working at Prudential at the time, and we were looking for an office manager. And I was like, you should really go and apply for this job, and you should move here, and I think we'll get along great. And then we got Cody a job because Meg came over.
We did. And I sold you guys jewelry.
Yeah, you were doing jewelry sales at the time. So fast forward a bunch of years. Obviously, we've Prudential turned into Keller Williams, and at that time, we went through that transition, and you were the team leader, basically.
Yep.
And I was just an agent.
Well, the cat herder.
The cat herder, right? Yeah, the cat herder. And what happened after that? I just lost my train of thought. Keller Williams turned into Bluebird, and at that point we exited. We started Signature Properties, Dave and I, and you became the
CEO of the association.
Yeah.
And I did that for, goodness, when was that? 2017?
Yep.
And then in 2022, no, end of 21.
End of 21.
I decided to leave the association and start teaching, and here we are, back together again.
My goal was to always have Brie working with us at Signature Properties. It just took a little longer than I wanted it to for our own purposes, but we're here together. So Brie's the managing broker of Signature Properties, and I am the owner, and we work together building the team and building the brokerage and having a lot of fun.
We do.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun.
So this podcast is going to be fun. I'm excited about it. We're going to try to do some real estate stories, but we'll do a lot of goofing around and wine drinking probably, and but hopefully bring some value to real estate in Crested Butte and Gunnison. So Brie, tell everybody how you and Cody ended up in Crested Butte.
That's a great story, actually. So like I said, it was one of Cody's longtime buddies that he had known out of high school, actually, that bought the foreclosure next to you.
Yep.
And so Cody was like, I think we should go check it out. You probably won't like it. It's a very small town. I'm kind of a like my conveniences kind of gal.
Target,
And
AKA.
who doesn't like Target? So we hopped in the car, and the plan was to come to Crested Butte, Gunnison area for like 48 hours. And then the primary people that we knew at the time were in like the Vail Copper area. So we were going to spend the rest of the time there finding job, place to live, whatever. And we rolled into town, and I describe it as being a dog out the window. I was pretty much head out the window. It was like one of those, when was it? I think it was July
Yeah,
that
it
we
was
came
the
out.
middle of summer. It was like the
And I
most
think
magical time.
it was like the grass was ridiculously green. I mean, we hit CB South, and I was head out the window. We drove through town. Loved every second of it.
Yeah, it's hard not to that time of year, that's for sure.
And then, of course, meeting you guys, we were like, oh, we don't want to leave. So we actually spent 5 days here, got our jobs, and then went to Copper and Vail. Went to Vail one day, parked in a parking garage, came back, and there was nice key marks all the way down the side of our vehicle. And
crazy.
it was like, that was intervention. And we were like, all right,
That was the sign.
Crested Butte it is. And that was in 12. And so
Yeah.
we've been here ever since. And it was ironic how those events happened because we were pretty much set on Copper Mountain because that's where we got engaged.
Oh, that's right. And I'll never forget how you were like, I cannot wait to go back and quit that elementary teaching job.
I know I quit in the middle of the school year.
Yeah, and you were working in a very low low end, not low end, but what am I trying to say?
I mean, to put it nicely, the ghetto.
Yeah, the ghetto.
Yeah.
Teaching kids that were struggling, that had hard lives, but it was not an easy job.
No, I took it home with me because I wanted to take all the kids home with me because I felt so sorry for them.
Yeah, that was a crazy story. You still can pull stories from that job in real estate.
Oh, we can.
You think
I have the keys to that.
you think clients are difficult? Try 3-year-olds. No, they were 7.
6 and 7,
Yeah.
first grade. Yeah.
Well, it was the same. I mean, we obviously I grew up here. My parents went to Western. My grandmother graduated Gunnison High School in 1945, and her high school was my middle school, which was really cool. They tore that building down; it doesn't exist anymore. So when you're driving,
I know that?
I don't know. So when you're driving into Gunnison, there's the McDonald's, and then where they have that new Western building,
Yep.
my middle school was there.
It was there.
And it was 7th and 8th grade was in that school. But anyway, so I graduated in 98 from Gunnison High School and went to Fort Collins. And Dave and I actually met back up here. We were,
that's right.
he was in a
Sure.
fraternity with some of my friends from high school, and they came up, the X Games were in Crested Butte. And so they came up for the winter break to work X Games and hang out and invited me to a party. And so I met Dave here.
Jesse ain't turning down a party.
I know, it's hard not to. I didn't turn down the tequila either. And that was in 99. And then we both went back to CSU and finished college, lived in Fort Collins until 2007. And then Dave's always wanted to live in a ski town. And he's like, we got to go back to Crested Butte. And I was like, anywhere in the world
Anywhere
but
but
Crested
here.
Butte. I've already lived there. I don't want to go back. And he's like, but your family's here and you want to do real estate. Like, it really just would make sense for us to live there. And I was like, fine, 1 year. That was 15 years ago.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, we love it. It's great. I mean, I didn't live in town. I lived up Spring Creek, so we didn't have the life of
I was going to
living
say
in
Spring
town.
Creek and Crested Butte are like two
Totally
different animals.
So it's been really fun. Dave called it adult summer camp for the first few years until we had children.
I was
Now
gonna
we
say,
call
and
it
then-
children's summer camp. They live the life, but
I know.
we love it. It's a great place to live, and we're excited. I love sharing it with
Other
clients
people.
and other people, and it's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this. I think it's gonna be really fun to do this podcast.
I know.
So here's to many more episodes.